Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Alrighty, well, I'm sorry for that utterly painful conversation that everyone had to endure. Um, I don't understand in any way, shape, or form the concept of saying that I would rather have an alive kid than a dead one when you have no restrictions on abortion.
Yeah, I don't think you're aborting kids.
Any sense?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
you're presupposing that abortions are killing kids. I don't do that. I don't think they're children. I think they're fetuses. I don't think they're kids till they're born, or at least till
So
24
you don't think
weeks.
you don't think babies are children.
I don't think they're babies until they're born.
So after 24 weeks, they are children or they are not children.
After 24 weeks, I'll value them. I'll give them
So
some sort of
9 months,
moral
the
consideration.
day that the baby, 9 months,
Uh huh. What's the
the
definition of
the
baby?
day the baby is about to come out of the mother,
What's the
that
definition of
day,
baby?
5 hours before the baby is born, it's
Yeah.
not a baby.
No. What's the definition of baby? Can you read it for me?
Sorry,
Can you read me the definition of baby?
dude, you're freaking internet. You're breaking up, internet.
I'm not. Everybody else can hear me. So it's not my internet. Am I lagging,
It's
guys?
probably me then. So I'll try my best to get my internet back on track. Um, a baby is it's a little human.
No.
And a little human
What's the actual
is a
definition
little
of it?
baby that
Wait,
comes
I'm
out
sorry.
of
I'm
the
sorry. What's the
out of
actual
the.
definition of baby? Not just a baby is a little human.
Everybody here knows what a human baby is.
I'm
It's
sorry.
literally self-explanatory.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not going to. I'm not going
Can
to
you provide
define
me the
something
definition of baby,
that's
please?
easily defined.
Oh, okay.
I
I'll do
will
it. I'll do
not
it for you.
provide
I'll
you
do it
that
for you.
definition.
I'll do it
I
for
will
you.
not provide that definition.
Yep, I'll do it for you because you
It's
know that
obvious.
it breaks your argument. A very young child, especially one newly or recently born. Are fetuses
Awesome.
born?
Okay. So
Have fetuses been born?
So a fetus, so a
It's not
baby, not 5 hours before he comes out of his mama's tummy, has no inherent value to you.
No, I already said at 24 weeks I grant them moral consideration. Try again.
Okay, moral consideration. So it is morally considerate. So that's the only thing you do is morally consider a baby
What does moral
to have
consideration
value.
mean to you?
Moral consideration means you either care or you don't care about the inherent life of that baby or child.
So
And a
once
fetus, you call it a fetus. If you look at the definition of a fetus, it just says a human baby.
Yeah, well, when you look at the actual
Okay,
definition of fetus, that's not what it means. It
a
just means
fetus
offspring.
is literally a
Means offspring.
human baby.
No, because
Yes,
animals
it's a
can
human
animals
baby.
can have fetuses too, dummy. A lion still has
That
a
doesn't
fetus.
matter.
Yes,
In
it
the
does. You said
context of what,
fetus. You
in the
said fetus is
context,
a human
in
baby,
the
but
context of what we're
fetus
talking
just
about.
means offspring because
Anyway,
other
the
creatures
point of
can
the
have
matter is you
fetuses.
cannot say you
You're bad
support
at this.
live children.
Uh-huh.
You can't say you can't say you support children. You'd
Yes,
rather
I
have
can.
an alive child than a dead one.
Yes, I
If you
can.
would support killing a child
It's not a child.
5 months before it's born.
It's not a child.
Sorry, that is absolutely ludicrous.
It's not a
Anybody
child.
with half a brain cell knows that's
Really?
disingenuous and wrong.
Where's your brain cells? I'm confused. I'm confused. I've already brought up the fact that I
I
don't
bet
believe
you,
there. I already
I
brought
have
up
no
the.
doubt.
No.
I
We're
have no
talking now.
doubt
We're
you're
talking now. I'm
confused.
talking now. Thanks. I'm talking now. Thanks. Put on your wading pants. This is how we do this. So first and foremost, when we talk about abortion, we need to talk about like what
Yes,
is valuable about life. I don't believe life has inherent value just because it's life.
which
I'm
absolutely
sorry.
justified.
I didn't know that it was your turn to talk. Oh my God. I didn't know that I had said you can go now because I didn't. So again,
Awesome.
life
Got
in
you.
and of itself, not inherently valuable. Now, what I do value is
That's
sentient life.
crazy.
So as soon as life becomes sentient, then I begin valuing it, which is why I value fetuses at about 24 weeks. That's why I grant them more consideration. So yes, when sentient kids kill themselves, I have a problem with it. When non-sentient kids are aborted, I have no fucking issue. It's not sentient. I don't care. The person is not there yet. You haven't caused harm to anything. I don't care.
Yeah. Am I allowed to speak now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So this, I think, awesomely clearly demonstrates how those on the left have been able for the last century and a half to basically justify genocide. You can look at Stalin to Mao to
Virtue signaling.
on the left, including Hitler, who was
Virtue
a
signaling.
national socialist,
Virtue signaling.
have justified genocide,
Virtue signaling.
infanticide, and evil in basically
Virtue
every
signaling.
metric. Because at the end of the day, they can decide what
Virtue
life
signaling.
is valuable
Are you done virtue
and
signaling?
what life is not valuable.
Are you done
It
virtue
is
signaling?
absolutely crazy.
Are you done virtue
I like
signaling?
how I thought I was speaking. It's my turn to talk now.
No, that's
So
not how this
you're gonna
works.
have to wait.
That's
You're
not how
gonna
this
have to
works.
wait until I'm.
That's not how this
You're gonna have
works.
to wait
That's
until
not how this
I'm
works. Are you
finished.
done virtue signaling? I just want to know.
So you're allowed to unequivocally interrupt me.
Yes, it's my
Interject at
platform.
any moment you want.
Yeah, it's my
and
platform.
you not
That's how that
allow
works.
the guest the same. Awesome.
Yeah, when
So
you
again,
do nothing
this
but
just
virtue
clearly
signal,
demonstrates to your
you're just
audience
virtue signaling.
you are clearly
You're virtue signaling.
disingenuous.
You're virtue
You're
signaling.
clearly
You're virtue signaling. You
You're
didn't address my argument.
clearly disingenuous.
You didn't
You
address
can
my
repeat
argument.
the same
You're
thing
just
over
virtue
and over.
signaling.
It does not
You
make
didn't
it
address
true.
my argument. You didn't address my argument. You're just virtue signaling.
I absolutely
No,
addressed
you didn't.
your argument.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
No,
did.
you didn't.
And anybody
No, you
listening,
didn't.
and they
A way
know,
you could have
the
addressed the
audience
argument. Here's what you
knows,
could have
in
done.
your
Here's
heart
what you
you
could have done to
know,
address
and
the
in
argument.
your mind
Here's what you
you
could have
know
done.
the truth.
Here's what you could have done to address the argument. Instead, you virtue signaled. What you could have done is said, "Well, no, it doesn't make sense that sentience is where you give more
Gotcha.
consideration."
So you
And then
want
you
to
could have
control
argued.
my
And then you could have
argument. You want
argued
to decide
why
what I
sentience
think
is not
and I
important
say.
for moral consideration.
Typical of a leftist.
Instead, virtue signal, dude. If you want to virtue signal, virtue signal.
They're-
You're really bad at this.
They are the
Yes.
Look,
Virtue
you want to
signal.
be a dictator.
Virtue
You want to be a
signal.
dictator.
This is a virtue signal.
Gotcha.
This
The
is a
truth
virtue
of the
signal.
matter is, my friend,
This is a
is
virtue
no
signal.
man.
That's all you're
The
doing.
truth of the matter.
This is a virtue
The
signal.
truth of the matter.
Chat, can we get some running emotes? Because he's running from the
The
argument. Can we get
truth
some
of
running
the
emotes in
matter
the
is
chat?
no man
Since he's running from the
would
argument.
worth his salt
Virtue
would
signaling.
follow you
That's a
into
virtue signal.
war.
That's a virtue
No
signal.
man worth
That's a
his
virtue
salt
signal.
would follow you as
You're
their
running from the
leader.
argument.
That is the
You're
absolute
running from the
truth.
argument.
To
You're running from the
indicate
argument.
that a baby,
Yep,
5 months
virtue
before it's
signaling.
born, is
There you
not
go.
a
Virtue
baby.
signaling. There you go.
It's absolutely
There you go.
crazy.
You're virtue signaling. There you go.
Gotcha. Like I said, you won't address my argument.
I
so
did.
there's no
I did
point
address.
in-
Wait, shut the
You
fuck up.
did
I
not.
addressed your argument.
Absolutely did
Your
not.
argument.
You
Your
absolutely
argument. Your
did not.
argument. Okay,
5
let's talk about.
hours before a baby
Let's
is
talk
born,
about.
it is
Let's
a
talk about
baby.
how I very
You
easily
know it.
addressed. Let's talk about how I very easily addressed his argument. His argument. 5 hours before it's born, it's a baby. Okay, whoop-de-doo. My claim is that at 24 weeks, I grant it moral consideration. So I wouldn't kill it after 24 weeks. So this 5 hours before it's a baby has nothing to do with my stance. Because I told you my stance. My stance is sentience. At the point of sentience, which is agreed in the scientific community about 24 weeks, specifically when the thalamocortical connections meet up with the sense organs, that's when I give it moral consideration and give it some sort of inherent value. Prior to that, I don't give it value at sentience because sentience is the very clear line that we dictate in every other instance in life whether or not we value something. Now, your
All right,
argument...
are you
Now,
done?
you,
Are you
no,
done?
no,
Am I
I'm not.
allowed to
No,
say?
I'm not. Now, your argument is
absolutely
now your
boring.
argument is, well, you're doing a Hitler. Okay, great. Doesn't address anything that I said. So go ahead.
That wasn't my argument,
I addressed.
but that's
Yes, it
all right.
was.
That's a
I addressed.
mischaracterization.
Yeah, nope. No, it's not. It's exactly
A
what your argument was.
mischaracterization.
No, it's
and
not.
you
Go ahead and
know
virtue
it.
signal.
Yes, it is. Got you. Okay, back to my virtue signaling for
Yep, I know.
everybody. So you, at the same breath, you claim that you'd give it moral consideration at 24 weeks.
Yep.
Yet, you know that you would be okay with the baby being killed 5 hours before it's born.
Did
Your
I ever say
moral
that? I'm sorry.
consideration.
Did I ever say that?
You said right here,
I ever say
pro-choice,
that?
no government restrictions.
Yes.
Meaning
Yes.
that
I don't believe
abortion
there
would
should
be
be
allowed
government
5
restrictions.
hours.
I believe there should
5
be
hours
restrictions
before
placed
the
by
baby is
doctors.
born.
You could ask me now you're just straw manning. I believe that you can doctors can place restrictions and hospitals can place restrictions because they know the medical science. I also know that abortion does not mean
So if
killing
all the medical
Nope, not done.
community came together
Not
and
done.
said- if
Not
all the
done.
medical
Not
community
done.
came together-
I'm not done, little
the
Benny.
medical
Little Ben
community
Shapiro,
came
I'm not
together-
done. Little Ben Shapiro, I'm not
That's
done.
nothing. I don't like Ben
Little
Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, I'm not
Shapiro
done.
is
Little
Ben Shapiro is
I'm
a
not done.
clown.
Well, you seem to steamroll
I mean,
like he
he might-
does.
he might
seem to
be a
wanna
little
steam-
smarter than you,
seem
but
to
he's
want to
still an idiot.
steamroll, much like Benny Shapiro's. So when it comes
No.
to abortion, you could
You
ask my
still let
stance,
me
but
finish
instead
my
you're going
argument.
you could ask my. I know your argument. You literally made it. Your argument was a straw man on my claim. Okay, so my claim
It's not a straw man.
is that I'm
It's a
pro-choice.
steel man.
It's a straw man.
It's a steel man.
Okay, either way, it's stupid ugly. So my claim, okay, is that after 24 weeks, The only way you can have an abortion that is morally
Uh-huh.
permissible is to have a
Yes.
non-lethal one. So either a hysterotomy abortion or an induction abortion. Go ahead.
All abortions are lethal. It ends in
No.
the death of the child.
Nope, that's not what the definition of abortion is on a medical sense. That's not what the medical procedure is. So if you don't know medical
See,
procedures, that's on you.
we live in a post-truth
Uh-huh.
society.
Oh, really?
We live in a
Let's go to
post-truth world where
Harvard
anybody can
Medical.
just think what they
We'll
want.
go
You
to
guys can
Harvard
just not
Medical.
believe what you see with your own
We'll
eyes.
go to
It's
Harvard Medical. We'll look up
absolutely
abortion
crazy.
straight out of Harvard Medical. Abortion is the
The
removal of pregnancy
abortion
tissue,
ends with
products
the
of
death of a
conception.
baby.
Oh,
It doesn't
hold on. I'm
matter
sorry.
how
Let's
you
look
kill it.
at what Harvard Medical says. Abortion is the removal of pregnancy tissue, products of conception, or the fetus and placenta from the uterus. Doesn't say anything about killing. Did you hear killing
Dude,
that?
the baby
Did you hear killing
gets
that?
killed.
Did you hear killing
It
that?
ends in the
Did you
killing.
hear
Just because
killing
you
that
agree with
sentence? Did you hear
just
killing that
because you
sentence?
agree
Yes
with
or
the
no?
way that it's
Did you
killed,
hear killing that
just because
sentence?
you,
Yes or no? Open your ears,
just
unclog your ears,
because,
grab some
just because it
Q-tips, rub them
ends,
in there, unclog your ears. Did you hear
just
killing that
because the
sentence?
baby dies in
Did
a
you
way
hear
that you
killing
like
that
it,
sentence? I don't
doesn't
believe
mean
the
that
baby
the
has to
baby
die.
is not dying.
You're just straw manning my point again.
That's a
It's
steel
so
man.
funny. No, it's not. You are straw
Yes,
manning.
it is.
No, it's not.
It's not a straw man.
Yes, it
A
is.
strong man is what you're doing, which is
Nope.
mischaracterization of one's views.
I'm not
That's
mischaracterizing
that's
anything.
what a straw
You
man is.
specifically said,
You're claiming
idiot,
there's an abortion out there that doesn't end with the death of a
hysterotomy
child,
abortion
my
and
G.
induction abortions can both be used without killing the fetus.
Explain that. Where does the baby go then? If those abortions don't end in the death of the fetus, where is the fetus after the abortion?
Typically, it goes into the NICU or it goes to the mom and dad.
Okay, and then what happens at that point? What
It's
happens
alive.
to the life? Does
It's
it
alive,
continue,
dummy.
or does
Idiot,
it go?
it's
And then
alive,
what?
stupid.
And then it goes where? And then where does it go?
To whoever wants it. Sometimes the parents just want to like not be pregnant anymore because a complication arises. So they have to quickly get the fetus out, but they still want the baby. Are you dumb? Are you slow? Were you born
So
dumb or
you're
did you become
saying
dumb later in life?
Them adopting, so somebody else adopting that baby is
They
not
could.
abortion, my G.
An induction abortion and a hysterotomy abortion are both coded as abortions, my guy. They're
Okay,
medically
so
coded as abortions, my dude.
So you're telling me that those abortions end with the baby outside
can.
of the womb and
They
living
can,
with
yes.
somebody else?
Yeah, or with the
All right, then those
parents.
abor-
Or with the
all right,
parents.
then those abortions are fine.
Okay, so guess what? That's my argument,
We're talking
dummy.
about we're talking
That's
about
my
the abortions
argument,
that
dummy.
end with the death of
Yeah, I believe you
children.
can't do those
Any
after 24 weeks, stupid. Like I
Okay,
said,
then
I already
okay,
said
then you
this,
have more
dumb idiot.
all right, then you have
Stupid.
more. Then you have more than a brain cell than I thought. Good
Yeah,
job.
okay,
I'm
this
very-
is why we
I'm
say
very-
this
I'm
is
very
why I
glad
said
we
you
established
straw
that we
manned
believe
earlier,
that children
stupid.
should not die after 24 weeks. So
Bro,
24
you're
weeks
so
is where you
dumb.
draw the line.
You're so
24
dumb.
weeks is where you 24 weeks is where you draw the
Yeah,
line.
it's almost like 5 minutes ago I said 24 weeks is when I grant moral consideration, dummy.
Okay, but when you said the abortion, I expected those
Wow.
abortions end with the death of a child.
Wow, it's almost like I fucking very clearly lined out my stance, and you just wanted to argue for the sake of arguing. So maybe,
The point
like
of the
I
matter
said, grab
is
a
all
Q-tip,
abortions that
undo,
end with the
grab
death
a
of a
Q-tip,
child
undo your
are
ear.
absolutely wrong. Every single
Any
death
abortion prior
that
to
ends with
24
a
weeks is
child-
not wrong. No,
Yes.
it's not sentient.
So then your argument still doesn't make sense because you would still support abortion that does end
I
in
would
death
abort a
after 20
Yes, I don't care if we kill a non-sentient
because you don't
thing.
care about sentience.
No, I only care about sentience.
Only care about sentience.
Why would I care about a non-sentient thing? I don't cry when we cut down a tree. Because that's when
Then what is
sentience
the
starts, dummy.
What is the
Holy
24
shit.
weeks
Open your
matter?
ears, dude. 24 weeks is when you
Open
begin
your
sentience.
ears, my G.
I don't know how many
Listen
times I have
what
to
I'm
say this.
telling
I don't know
you.
how many times I have to say
Hear
this.
the words
24
coming
weeks.
out of my
24 weeks is when a fetus becomes sentient. So at 24 weeks, I
Okay.
grant it moral consideration. You fucking
What
joke.
does that mean? Moral consideration.
How can you have
What
an
does
abortion
that
argument
mean?
and you don't know what moral consideration means?
No. To you.
No,
you
dummy.
define.
What do
I
you
don't
thi-
understand
no,
what you
no,
mean.
No, yes
by
you do.
moral
Yes you do.
consideration.
Yes you do. You're just an
No,
idiot.
I
Yes, you
do not.
Yes you do.
People have different
Yes,
definitions.
you do. No,
for
they
the
don't.
same
No, they don't.
word,
There's not
my
a single
dog.
person that's ever
Absolutely.
debated abortion that has a different
Absolutely it
definition
does.
of moral consideration. There's not a single person. There's not a single one
Moral
except you, apparently.
consideration. All right, then pretend I'm an idiot. What does that mean?
Moral consideration means that at this point, you would grant it rights. You would say that this creature has a right to not be killed. You have a moral duty not to kill this creature anymore. That's what moral consideration means. That's what everybody knows it to
Okay.
mean,
So
except you
after
apparently.
20 Okay, so after 24 weeks, you do not permit abortion under any circumstance.
I permit non-lethal abortions and abortions that would save the life of the mother.
Okay, fair enough. All right. That makes sense. After
It's
24
what
weeks.
I said fucking 8 minutes ago, my G.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, it is.
The
Yeah, I can
position
play
that it
back the
seemed
fucking
like
tape. Yes.
my
Wait, do you
understanding.
see what you just did? Do you see what you just did? The position that it seemed like, because you were straw manning my point instead of listening to what actually came out of my mouth, which is at
Straw man means
24 weeks.
I'm purposefully mischaracterizing
Okay,
what
then
your
you
views were.
ignorantly straw man
It
me.
just means
Sure.
I
You
incorrectly understood
ignorantly
what your
straw
views
man
were.
me. Sure.
It wasn't an ignorant straw man.
It
It was a
was.
simply
Oh, you're right.
mischaracterized.
It was a
I
straw
didn't
man based on
understand.
not listening. That's
I
what it was.
didn't understand your
Yes, because you were
point of view.
steamrolling the conversation. So when I
No,
clearly
it
lined out
was
my
not.
point and said at 24 weeks, you straw man. That's what a straw man is, my G. Just because you don't, just
Okay.
because you
Anyway,
just was straw.
after 20,
Go
after
ahead.
24 weeks, like the only case that you'd support a lethal abortion is when that endangers the life of the mother. Most leftists would disagree with you
I
and say,
actually
well,
disagree with
if it
that because the vast majority of leftists I've talked to are on my side about this. Because we all say
so
sentience
why
is
do
the
you
thing that's
think
worth
then? Why do
protecting.
you think some leftists disagree then and say that
I don't know. I'm not
unrestricted
some leftist.
abortion?
Are you trying to debate me or other people? I'm not
No,
some
I'm asking you
leftists.
why you think that is. I'm asking you
I'm
why
not
you
some
think that
leftist. I
is.
can't tell you why other leftists are debating a topic a specific way. I can only tell you
Okay,
how
I just
I
figured.
debate my topic, which is abortion is permissible in any way, shape, and form up to 24 weeks. After 24 weeks, you prioritize abortion methods that keep the fetus alive.
Got you. Okay. So you would. So why would you not? And why would you not be okay with government restrictions on restricting life
Because I
being
don't
killed
think the
after 24
government should
weeks?
be able to tell you what you can and can't do with your body. I'm okay with doctors having like a set branch of ethical guidelines that they have to follow, but I don't think the government should be able to tell someone what they can and can't do with their bodily resources.
Okay. So after 24 weeks, that sentient being is part of the woman's body.
No.
Okay. So then, what does that have to do with your argument?
What are you talking about?
Well, you said after 24 weeks that the baby that you don't believe that the government should have restrictions on abortion after 24
I
weeks
don't think the
because you don't
government
believe
should
that the
have
government.
any say on abortion, period. It should be left up to the doctors and the people that are pregnant. And doctors should have a set of
But
ethical
why wouldn't you want to
guidelines.
protect sentient beings after 24 weeks and use
I
government
believe
protection?
doctors should have a set of ethical guidelines that they implement where they decide whether or not whatever the prioritizing method could be. Because when we give the method to the government, also this is like a real pivot from like what we were originally talking about, but when we give that power to the government, people die. For instance, we can look at cases like Savita Hapanavara. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. She got pregnant in Ireland, and Ireland had a rule where it was a government policy, which is no abortions unless the fetus is dead. Well, her baby was not yet dead. However, she did have a miscarriage. She had yet to pass the child, but the child was not dead. So per the law, she could not have an abortion. She died of an infection, which is incredibly hard to catch when you don't pass the when you're pregnant, period. It's incredibly hard to catch an infection, but it's even harder when like you're going septic and they don't know whether the fetus is going to pass or not. She
That
died.
just sounds like
Ireland
bad
then,
law.
nope.
That just
Ireland
sounds like
then,
a bad law.
that would be the law that's being put into place by every conservative governmenting body in the United States.
That doesn't mean that there can't be good laws that are passed to protect life and sentient beings after
I
24
believe
weeks.
that when we give the government the power the power to dictate what we do with our bodies, it is a slippery slope to them implementing more and more restrictions till we get to the point where we have states like Texas where abortion is banned for every single reason, rape and incest included, unless you are like in imminent death. And doctors have already stated it's medically consensus that they cannot predict imminent death. It's an unpredictable thing, especially when you're pregnant.
So if we could
I
have
think these are
so if we could have
really
abortion
dumb.
protections for sentient beings after 24 weeks that didn't end in a slippery slope of tyranny, you would support that.
Yeah, if you could make it so that there were zero slippery slopes, sure.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. And I'm trying to understand, why do you think that giving the power to those doctors would be any different than giving the power to the government? Because you and I both know that
Care of their
absolute power.
patients, because doctors focus on the care of their
You and I both know though that absolute power corrupts absolutely.
No, I
So
don't
whether you
believe
give a
that. I don't
government
believe in
institution,
that phrase.
if you give a government institution absolute power versus you give doctors absolute power, you still run the risk of a slippery slope of people being dishonest and using things for money. For instance, we both know that doctors sell people drugs that don't need drugs. So it's not like doctors are automatically these moral safety net to protect society.
Yeah, so I'll say it again. A, I don't believe in that quote. I don't believe in that quote. I don't believe it to be an accurate quote, and an accurate thing for like all society. And B, doctors' care focus is going to be on the care of their patients, not on implementing policy to make sure that their base is happy. You think
But
that
that doesn't
a heavy conservative
that doesn't address what I said
yes,
though,
it
because we
does.
both know that doctors sell drugs to people that don't need drugs.
Doctors
They
don't sell
perform
drugs.
they per, they prescribe drugs
Right. Doctors don't
to
sell
people.
drugs.
Call it what you want. You can play semantics all you want. They sell drugs.
This isn't semantics.
They sell drugs.
This is like a legitimate, like very
Doctors
important
inappropriately
distinction.
prescribe. That's why everybody's on antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, is because
What's your empirical evidence that doctors are
doctors
inappropriately
subscribe
prescribing drugs?
doctors
What's your evidence on
subscribe
this?
drugs to people that do not need them.
What's your evidence on this?
Absolutely. They
What's your
perform
evidence?
surgeries
What's your
that they do
evidence?
not need.
What is your
Evidence, like I
evidence?
told you. What's your evidence that a boy with a penis is a boy and a woman with a vagina is a woman?
Yeah,
You
I
would
love
say
the
that that's
pivot.
not
I love
the
the pivot.
case.
I love the
You would
pivot.
tell me
I love the pivot.
to
I love the
ignore
pivot.
what I
I
see
love the
with my
pivot.
own eyes.
I
And this is
love
the
the
problem
pivot.
with our
I
society
love
today.
the
Is
pivot.
they need these
I love
experts.
the pivot.
They
I
need
love the
these
pivot.
people
I
to
love the
make and
pivot.
determine reality
Love the
for them.
pivot.
They
Love the
want you to
pivot.
ignore what you see with
Love
your
the
own
pivot, homie.
eyes.
Love
They
the pivot.
don't want you to
Yep,
see
that
with your
pivot
own
broke my
eyes. They
neck.
say, trust our precept. These people are false
Love the pivot.
prophets. That's
I'm gonna just
exactly what they are.
once you're done soapboxing, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
What's your question, my friend?
Provide evidence that doctors are misprescribing people drugs.
Provide evidence for me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you made a claim. I want you to back up your claim.
So you're trying to tell me, my G, that doctors don't inappropriately
I'm trying to ask you to back
prescribe
up your
people
claim.
drugs.
I'm trying to ask you to back up your claim.
I don't have to back up common sense and
No,
observable
you do have to
reality.
back up a claim. Yes, you
Back
do.
up your claim that the sky is back up that the
Didn't
sky
make
is
that
blue.
claim. I didn't make that claim.
But it's true, is it
I
not?
didn't. To some people, it might not be blue. It's all about the way that the light reflects our eyes. Like dogs don't see a blue sky because they have a higher color spectrum.
Right
So
here.
I'll ask
Truth
again.
has now become subjective.
Ooh, we
We
love
live
it.
in a post-truth.
So somebody
we live
paid
in
to
a
boot you.
post-truth
So I hope you
society.
have a good
I
rest
can
of your
look at the
day.
sky,
Someone
and if
paid to
I
boot
think
you.
it's
See ya. Shout out to Amber. That was Amber, right? Shout out to Amber for the Cash App to boot the guest. Wow, I've never seen Aziz Ansari so angry before.